Thank you for watching the video summary of the Team B Emerging Leaders Project, sponsored by the Association for College and Research Libraries Distance and Online Learning section. We are Team B. We are 5 librarians from 2 different countries representing 4 different libraries. I'm Lee Bareford, the head of the Learning Commons on Georgia Southern University's Armstrong campus.
My name is Martyniuk, and I'm the liaison and education librarian at the University of Toronto.
I'm Justin Fuhr. I'm a science librarian at the University of Manitoba.
I'm Chris Vaughn. I'm the Digital Services Librarian at Midwestern Baptist Theological Seminary.
And I'm Kelli Gecawich, the Media and Circulation Associate at Lane Library on Georgia Southern University's Armstrong campus.
Our team was tasked by the Association of College and Research Libraries Distance and Online Learning section to identify how academic librarians consider accessibility in designing and delivering online instruction and what tools and technologies they use to support accessibility in the online learning environment.
Our project's primary goal was to consider what technological resources academic librarians use to support accessibility when designing online instruction and learning objects. Our objectives include designing a survey using Qualtrics, documenting our processes and experience during the project, and preparing a report for the DOLS committee and a presentation for the ALA annual conference.
This project roadmap follows the different steps we undertook. It starts off when we met at LibLearnX, where we identified the key objectives, revised the project approach, and set out a timeline. The next stage involved conducting a literature scan and discussing the results. Afterwards, we brainstormed survey questions and identified themes in Jamboard. At the third stage, we designed and reviewed draft questions and experimented with the question formats in Qualtrics. After we finalized the draft survey, we presented the workflow and survey to DOLS for feedback and then applied those revisions. Prior to finalizing the survey, we fixed issues in Qualtrics and piloted the revised draft. We also completed the project report, poster, and video presentation.
Our first step was to conduct a scan of the literature to get an idea how we would shape our survey questions. We refer to this step as a literature scan instead of a literature review because we needed to look beyond scholarly information to include non-academic websites and blogs. These sites provided information about the popular resources available to support students with disabilities in the online learning environment. We identified apps and software designed to assist students with ADHD, autism, dyslexia, physical disabilities, hearing and vision impairments, and more. Some of the apps and software we discovered are listed as matrix question response options in the Team B final survey. The scan also helped us develop key definitions that we used in the survey. We also identified 3 significant themes in the literature that informed our project design. The first theme, unsurprisingly, is that accessibility issues are pervasive in academic libraries. Second, accessibility issues extend beyond disability. And third, following the principles of universal design for learning makes a big difference in how students with disabilities function and succeed in the online learning environment. The 3 themes encompass many issues. For example, the literature showed a lack of clear information on academic library websites about specific services and accommodations for library users with disabilities. On some library websites, the open educational resources posted there often did not incorporate basic accessibility considerations such as image alt text and clear and readable fonts. Another issue affecting students with disabilities is the high cost of educational materials like textbooks and access codes, and sometimes even a lack of access to essential technology like computers and reliable internet. Issues like these demonstrate that universal design for learning is essential for ensuring that all students, regardless of ability, have equitable access to online learning tools that will help them succeed. Especially after the abrupt shift to online learning during the pandemic, it is essential to provide students with multiple ways to approach online course content so they can better match their learning style to their needs and abilities. As a whole, the results of our literature scan supported our idea that more information is needed about the available resources that librarians can use to increase the accessibility of the online learning objects they create and the wider online learning environment their resources and services are a part of. We applied what we learned during the development of the Team B Qualtrics survey.
Once our literature scan was completed and common themes identified, we moved into survey development. We decided to host the survey in Qualtrics, a universal platform that we all have access to through our respective institutions. Our initial drafting of the questions for the survey was completed via a Google Jamboard, where we could propose questions and group them into general themes that would help guide the structure of our survey. During this brainstorm, we also determined that it was necessary to create working definitions of key terms that would be used in the survey to provide a uniform understanding of the concepts. The terms we chose to define were accessibility, distance teaching and learning, teaching tools or learning objects, universal design for learning, adaptive technology, and instruction. These were then defined early in the survey and incorporated as tooltips throughout the questions for those participants who might need a reminder. We opted to use quantitative research methods for our questions, which we felt was the best way to ask what we needed and meet our objectives, though we did leave open-ended other options for respondents to enter their own answers. The questions focused on respondents' experiences with developing online learning content and if they considered accessibility when doing so, what tools they used, and how they rated how accessible those tools were. Also included were questions on how much of a respondent's job was instruction and whether they had institutional policies governing accessibility in their online learning environment. To discuss what resources our respondents used, we formatted matrix table questions to offer a list of pre-selected resources, which were defined from the literature scan, with the option for respondents to add their own if they used a resource that we did not define. For the subsequent matrix questions, we were able to set up the display logic to only carry forward selected response options to the following questions. We learned after piloting the survey that we needed to explain these questions more thoroughly, which we were able to do. After initial development, the survey was pilot tested by our project sponsor, the Distance and Online Learning section of the ACRL, who gave feedback on ways we could improve, mainly areas of the survey that needed to be clarified. After incorporating these suggestions, we piloted the survey within our own institutions for further feedback. The final version will be handed to DOLS at the ALA Annual Conference in Chicago on June 23, 2023.
In addition to the finalized survey, Team B collaborated in the documentation of our project process within the final report. We also created this video presentation as well as a poster which summarizes our project process and project outcomes.
The first outcome of this project came through our literature scan. We curated a bibliography of 42 documents that guided our discussions and helped us to consider the core concepts for accessibility in library instruction. We also found new technologies that might be useful tools for librarians to use in their online instruction. The literature scan also helped us develop working definitions for the terms that were significant in our survey development. Our second main takeaway was learning how to develop the survey in Qualtrics. This was a new technology for our team, and we worked together on the technical aspects of building the survey and carefully thought about what data we wanted to collect and which questions would be the best fit for our desired outcomes. We had lengthy discussions on how to best refine our survey wording to make the most sense for the people who would be taking our survey. We showed our draft survey to the DOLS committee and used their feedback to further refine our survey. The next steps for this project involve the DOLS committee sending out the survey and analyzing the results. We are confident that they will gain useful information that they can then use to recommend new tools to librarians.
We would like to extend our sincere thanks to the American Library Association and the Distance and Online Learning section of ACRL for their support of this program. A special thank you to Beatrice Calvin, Christina Fuller-Gregory, and Libby Holtman for hosting and coordinating this year's Emerging Leaders. We would like to especially thank Chiméne Tucker and the DOLS Executive Committee for their help and support of this project. We would also like to thank Justin Barnett for his assistance in developing the Qualtrics survey, and to our colleagues who gave feedback on the survey: Vivian Bino, Malin Lay, Carolyn Monin, and Jessica Swearingen.
Thanks for watching our Team B video summary, and we hope to see you at the 2023 ALA Annual Conference in Chicago.